is. That is something that the WNBA players, WNBA media, WNBA fans have been begging for so many years.
Television, the most television games in franchise history, the most national television games for a single team in WNBA history.
Angel Reese's reaction to the Indiana Fever being called America's team is something you have to see. The moment she heard about it, she couldn't hold back her laughter. And honestly, the way she rolled her eyes says everything about this WNBA rivalry that's blowing up right now. But here's what's really wild. This whole America's team label isn't just random. Did you know the Fever's viewership is up 48% this season? That's right, we're watching a genuine revolution in women's basketball.
You know what the increase was from 2024 to 2023 in attendance? 48%. That's massive. That's the Caitlin Clark effect.
Phenomenon, yeah.
And the tension between Reese and Clark is at the center of it all. Stick around because I'm breaking down what's really happening behind these headlines. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. You know what's crazy? The media didn't just randomly pick Indiana to be America's team overnight. There's a massive money machine churning behind everything you're seeing. When Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA drafts, television executives weren't thinking about growing women's basketball. They were calculating dollar signs and rating points. Let's break down what actually happened here.
The NBA's attendance had a record-breaking high in 20 years with a total of 2.3 million fans attending games.
The Indiana Fever went from being completely ignored by national networks to suddenly becoming the center of the WNBA universe. I'm talking about a team that will have 41 out of their 44 games broadcast nationally this season. That's not just a slight increase. That's the most national TV games for a single team in the entire history of the WNBA.
Television, the most television games in franchise history, the most national television games for a single team in WNBA history.
Recent news that 41 out of the 44 Indiana Fever games will be nationally televised.
Think about that for a second. A team that was barely getting any airtime is now practically living on your TV screen. The networks aren't suddenly passionate about women's basketball after decades of minimal coverage. They smell money. TV executives don't schedule games based on fairness or what teams deserve coverage. They schedule based on what will bring in advertising dollars. And right now, Caitlin Clark is their golden ticket. When she joined the Fever, viewership exploded and advertisers started lining up with their checkbooks open. Remember last season when the Fever struggled to fill even half their arena? Now it's a completely different story. Teams across the league are literally moving their home games against Indiana to larger NBA arenas because the demand for tickets is so massive.
Caitlin coming to town, man, all these teams are going to cash in on that. It's just the nature of the business at this point.
We moved from Wintrust to the UC, has about double the capacity, so more tickets available to watch Caitlin Clark.
The Phoenix Mercury moved their game to their NBA counterparts arena. The Dallas Wings did the same thing. These teams know that when Clark comes to town, they can sell 3 or 4 times more tickets than usual. The numbers across the league are absolutely mind-blowing. Attendance is up 48% league-wide this season. That's not just a little bump, that's a complete revolution in how people are watching women's basketball. The Fever's home opener completely sold out. Their road games, same story. Social media engagement, through the roof. Jersey sales, breaking records. This isn't just about one player getting attention. The entire economic model of the WNBA is being rewritten in real time.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
She just brings so much passion to the game, and
TV executives saw this potential explosion coming from a mile away. As soon as Clark declared for the draft, they started planning. Meetings were held, schedules were redrawn, and the America's team narrative started getting crafted in boardrooms. It's brilliant business, but let's call it what it is: a calculated investment to maximize returns. They're not celebrating women's sports as much as they're celebrating the potential advertising revenue.
Caitlin Clark has been the best thing, the most dominant thing to
to happen to the WNBA ever. Remember, there's been good players come out of college.
The funny part, this isn't even the first time something like this has happened in women's basketball. Maya Moore had a similar impact on viewership and attendance when she entered the league. Diana Taurasi did too. But what's different now is the social media ecosystem that can amplify everything times 1,000. When Clark makes a highlight play, it doesn't just live on ESPN. It spreads across TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter within minutes, reaching millions of people who might never have watched a WNBA game before.
That is something that the WNBA players, WNBA media, WNBA fans have been begging for so many years.
Now let's talk about this supposed Clark-Reese rivalry that's dominating headlines. You think that just naturally developed on its own? Not a chance. Producers and commentators are carefully crafting this narrative because they know conflict drives viewership. Every interaction between these two players gets analyzed like it's international diplomacy.
What I'll also say is this: every single one of you WNBA players, you better pray that Caitlin Clark doesn't get injured.
Indiana Fever is America's team. The haters, by the time this season is over, their heads are going to have exploded already. They're going to be so angry.
Every facial expression gets turned into a meme. Every post-game comment gets dissected for hidden meaning. The media is manufacturing tension because tension sells. That's exactly why Angel Reese's eye-rolling reaction to the America's Team label is so perfect. She sees through the game being played. When reporters asked her about Indiana becoming America's Team, her reaction said it all. She knows this narrative isn't organic. It's being artificially created to drive ratings, clicks, and engagement.
The reason they decide to get themselves involved, whether it is actually malintent or maybe they just want to get themselves in the headline. A lot of players got the spotlight this season because of Caitlin Clark.
Reese, Caitlin Clark, they meet in the season opener.
Indiana Fever put this out. All eyes on us.
With such star power on those teams, it's really no surprise they're atop the list.
Reese isn't just responding to a question. She's responding to an entire media machine that's working overtime to create storylines that keep viewers emotionally invested. And honestly, can you blame her? The networks have made a business decision to spotlight one team above all others. They've chosen to feature one player in a way that no other player has been featured before. The media hasn't made this choice based on competitive balance or what's best for the league's long-term growth. They've made it based on what will drive immediate revenue. Let's talk about the real game being played here. And I'm not talking about basketball. Caitlin Clark's jersey sales alone outpaced the entire WNBA combined. Think about that for a second. The Indiana Fever went from being that team nobody paid attention to becoming a money printing machine practically overnight. Both Clark and Reese understand the business side. They're both becoming millionaires while this rivalry plays out. The networks win, the sponsors win, and women's basketball finally gets its moment.
Look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark once again dominates WNBA national TV schedule.
So next time you see that heated headline, remember, there's a whole economic ecosystem thriving on your emotional investment. But honestly, that's not a bad thing at all.